We doing? So I don't often do the show on a Saturday, but here's a little bonus one for you because on my journey this seems very relevant to do one today. So it's the Fitzy show. I am Fitzy. How is everyone? How's your weekend? It's just after 11 o'clock. You're probably kicking off or well into your weekend with your family. Hoping you're having a great one. Pop it in below what you're doing, what you're up to. Let me know. Hopefully you're really enjoying yourself. And then I want to ask another question as well. So put it down below. What do you do when the going gets tough? Yeah, when you're up against it and when you have to dig deeper, whether it be physical exercise, whether it be a challenge, whether it be going for promotion, you know, that moment where the brain is telling you to stop, where the brain is telling you I can't do this, where the brain is undermining you, where the brain is giving you doubts, where the brain is saying, come on, man, let's leave this, let's finish what we're doing, let's dip out, it's too hard, it's too uncomfortable. What do you do in that moment? Yeah, what's your success in that moment? So just want to share with you today. So this is the end of week -2 on my boxing training. So those of you that don't know, I've signed up to do 8 weeks boxing coming up, and it kicks off not next week but the week after. Next week we have the registration session, which will be interesting. And the other interesting piece is that we don't meet our opponent, or we don't know who our opponent is until week 7 out of 8 weeks training. So you're basically training with a group of people for 8 weeks. And one person within that group is going to be your opponent at the end of the 8 weeks, and this is all for charity. Yeah. So that's really kind of fascinating. So you're aware, you know, your opponent is here somewhere, but you're not sure who. Sometimes it's a bit of a giveaway for me though, because I'm normally one of the largest people, heaviest people. So, you know, obviously if I wanted to, I'd look for the biggest geezer in the room, and I'd probably say, oh, you know what? I'm probably going to be up with him, or, you know, there'll be a handful of people. But anyway, so today, do you know what? End of a good week of training, because started off with a hip flexor issue. And this is the first training today where I've done a training session and I haven't felt the hip flexor problem. Yeah, this is the first day. Did a 5k run today. I kind of joined the park run, but not. I did a bit of a run with them, but I always do my own thing anyway. I'm never, you know, part of the official group to sign in and everything. You're meant to use a barcode and all this sort of stuff. But for me, it's more just tapping into other people's energy and having a bit of fun along the way. And but I might start and finish before and after they do. But anyway, so what I wanted to share with you in that moment of the brain saying, come on, man, let's shut this down. Let's stop. Yeah. You don't need to do this. Yeah. So kilometer 3 of the 5 kilometers, really struggling. Yeah. Because having had this injury and everything, or continuous injuries for the whole year on my right hand side, fitness is not where it should be. So this is why I'm doing this journey. But my point of all this is, in that moment, kilometer 3, where it got painful and it got really uncomfortable and difficult, the breathing is more laboured, and you know, you see 1 or 2 people maybe passing me on the run and things like that. In that moment, what do I do? So, do you know what was happening was a combination of 2 things. I'm going to share one more in particular with you. So the first one is a typical technique that I use, and I use it with my clients as well. It's about visualization and visualization of the future, the goal, the task, whatever you're looking to achieve. You know, so my brain and I let my brain do its thing. I didn't control it. I was interested to see what techniques my brain would default to overcome the adversity and overcome the difficulty and overcome the discomfort, you know. So the first one was visualising the boxing match. Already, I know we're 10 weeks out, but you know, it's very good if we start to familiarise ourselves with the journey and what we're trying to achieve and what it's going to feel like, look like, engage all the five senses, you know. And then the idea is, and I've done this journey once before, a couple of years ago. The idea is once you get to the actual challenge, the actual fight night, for example, your brain is super familiar with it. You know, it's because you've run it over so many times in your brain. You've run that experience or that fight or whatever it is, that challenge over and over and over in your mind. When you come to the actual challenge, your brain thinks it's already done it several times. Because there's a little trick. The brain doesn't know with the visualization if it's reality or not. All it knows is that it's been through that thought process and it feels familiar. So as I say, when you get to the actual fight, the brain is like, I'm okay with this. I feel comfortable with this because I've been here before, yeah, because I've visualized it over and over and over and over. So that's one technique that I was using today, was kind of looking forward to the actual fight and the one-on-one and what it's going to feel like. And, you know, that's my why, that's my reason for, you know, overcoming adversity in the training. So that's one technique that's already started manifesting itself this long out, 10 weeks out. But the other technique, what my brain defaulted to as well for a period of time, which was quite interesting, was flicking over almost like a slideshow, almost like a movie show, hopping from vision to vision of my past accomplishments. Yeah, when I've been in adversity before, when I've overcome things in the past. Yeah, you know, and my brain was coming up with, you know, previous physical challenges, previous physical adversity, and you know, when I've given up alcohol in the past, coming up to 1,000 days, by the way. There's a little taster of that. When I left corporate world, when I was in a really bad place, I allowed my brain to tap into those previous challenges, and the idea of that is then engaging the subconscious into the uncomfortable situation and the feeling of discomfort, and actually how do you switch that discomfort over to adapt and overcome that feeling, that experience, yeah, and push through adversity, yeah. And it's the brain is a super powerful thing, right? And it's about testing it over and over and over and over with these different techniques, yeah. You know, when you I see the brain as a muscle, and when you want to build a muscle, when you want to build your biceps, what do? You go to the gym, you keep lifting, and you might lift with different angles, you might lift with different techniques to get the results that you're looking for. And I see this the mental process, the mindset process, is a very similar thing in that respect. That it's not just one technique that we should be using. We should be using various techniques, and all these techniques together get us to where we want to get to. So thought I'd share that with you. Hope you've enjoyed it, and there'll be plenty of more of this to come over this sort of 10-week journey. And yeah, I'm gonna show you live how my brain is gonna overcome adversity, and I will add this at this point. I don't mind sharing it with you. I'm now 49 years old, right? And even compared to taking this type of journey 2 years ago, there's a massive difference physically. Much more difficult now. Much more difficult for me now. I wake up in the morning, and most mornings my body is aching. My body is pretty effed, yeah, from the years and years and years of physical exercise and pushing myself to the limits. I don't mind sharing that with you. So this is a different type of journey this time. Will I retire after this, taking on this type of challenge? I don't know. I'd like to say probably yes, physically, the way the body feels. However, this this will always override those type of decisions, and I know this is more powerful than the physical. So, you know, from previous experience, I know if my mind wants to do something, it will override the poor broken body and take us to the place we want to get to. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a great weekend, and speak to you soon. 9 weeks to go on the boxing journey. Take care, guys.